you and your friends not getting into college. But if they rejected you and you tried to convince them to reconsider, there's nothing else you can do.
When you say convince them, you mean like I could have called them?
Yeah.
I could do that.
You haven't called the...
Well, I mean, I got their letter and I assumed that was...
I'm sorry. Are you telling me that you didn't even think to plead your case with them first before you asked me to brainwash the entire world?
All right, so our second villain of the movie, Dr. Stephen Strange, who
big time.
Spidey first asked if he can go back in time.
I'm sure Pepper Potts hired.
100%. That's her guru. Spidey first asked if you go back in time. Strange has to explain, like, no, yeah, I don't have that stone anymore, man. Remember we did the thing and all that happened. Yeah, you were there. You were actually there, and it was explained to everybody. We had a big meeting. Remember, okay, cool. I assume they must have had a large meeting to explain what happened to everybody on the battlefield after all of the villains turned to dust. Like, somebody had to have a conversation.
I feel like
Cap
there was
always has a debrief. There's no way.
I feel like
we can't trust Cap. How many times I got to say this? I want to make a shirt that says "Don't trust Cap."
I feel like there was a debrief, but I also feel like the underage minor might not have been included in that debrief.
Oh, I think he was.
I like that I doubled up.
I think the problem is he got distracted because Star-Lord was asking him a whole bunch of pop culture questions.
Oh, could have been.
Okay, fair enough.
I feel like the Guardians got a hold of him. He's like, what? Huh? So.
Well, I feel like there wasn't a debrief because we didn't even see one at the end of that movie. It's like
they're not going to show us the debrief.
No, I'm just saying. I feel like nobody knew what the hell was happening at the end of the movie anyway. I'm gonna go put him back and then just ignore everything that happens between then.
Yeah,
it's
another session of like just like wait. When you think about it too much, it doesn't quite work. Which is there's definitely a fair amount of that in the Marvel universe with all the stuff of like, yeah, this is how time travel works. Nope. What about this laundry list of things? No, that hand wave it. It's not like Back to the Future.
Man. Well, now they have. Gotcha, didn't I?
I did. You did. You got me. That was hilarious.
Multiverse now.
Yeah.
We'll go back and get it later.
Doctor Strange's like, okay, I can do the spell that even Wong said I probably shouldn't do, but he's okay with it because he's just going to ignore it.
Well,
so
they bring up the fact that they have used the spell before for some ticky-tack bullshit.
Wong, you've actually generated a good idea. What? The runes of Kafka.
The runes of Kafka.
Oh, it's just a standard spell of forgetting. Won't turn back time, but at least people will forget that you were ever Spider-Man.
Seriously?
No,
that
not
would be...
seriously. That spell travels the dark borders between known and unknown reality. It's too dangerous.
We've used it for a lot less. Do you remember the full moon party at Kamertage?
No.
Exactly.
Yeah, which kind of like that's the other thing too is like, but that's also on Doctor Strange because he's like, okay, we'll do the spell. It's like, wait, doesn't he think like, oh well, he probably, I would imagine like, okay, I can make the greater world forget who you're, Spider-Man. But wait, what about me, Doctor Strange? Like, what about you? Shouldn't you know who I am? Like, otherwise, I'm just gonna be a kid standing in the middle of your sanctum sanctorum, and you're just gonna be off. Like, what's this dude doing here? Yeah, and like, so there's a fair amount of like just logic that was skipped on Doctor Strange's part again. And
well,
so he's like,
though, because the idea was that people would forget that he was Spider-Man, right? That was his main goal when he first started.
Yeah, and that's also part of the problem with it because the way the spell works out in the end is he's like, oh, forget people. Or I'm sorry, he wants people to forget that he's Spider-Man. So forget that Peter Parker is Spider-Man. Like, okay, they can forget that. That's a fine, you're erasing that connecting line between the two. The way the spell ends up in the end is that everyone forgets who Peter Parker is completely. Doesn't make any fucking sense at all.
Wait, what do you mean forgets who he is?
That is, I feel like. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I mean, and this is definitely, I mean, this is more like late game discussion of just like, it's a lot of BS to try and get things so that legally Spider-Man movies can happen outside of this Marvel universe with Sony, while and Marvel Universe can continue on without Spider-Man because they don't own the rights. That's all this comes down to in the very end.
Well,
Is like that's
true.
the
But
final crux of it, and that's
I
where
felt
it's like
the inside baseball still plays. It's still the logic still works in the movie though.
I disagree, and I think
Because originally he wanted everyone to forget that he was Spider-Man, and then he started putting these caveats on individual people who could still remember, which is what screwed up Doctor Strange. So when Doctor Strange is like, we did this for a ticky-tack reason, it's like, yeah, I can do this spell with my eyes closed if I just do a blanket version like I did before. Is when he started saying like, okay, but can you do this? Can you add this? Can you add that? Can you add that? It's like, all right, now you're fucking with me because I can't hold it and I can't keep these memories while erasing these memories because all of the individual memories are tied to a bunch of other stuff too. Like I can't, if I just erased everybody's, it would work.
right, but that's almost exactly it though. Is that Doctor Strange didn't think, oh, I should remember you by the end of this, so let me go ahead and start. Like, let me go ahead and let me embed this part of the spell in there.
My question
so that
is,
I
why does he
remember
need?
you.
Well, why does he need to remember him?
Because there's a
So
random
that
kid
he-
standing in the Sanctum Sanctorum. What the fuck are you doing here? Who are you, asshole?
But didn't hold on? He said that the second time they did this spell, though, didn't he?
I haven't seen it recently, but that's the problem with Strange not making things clear from the beginning. If I'm going to do this spell, and I know that Wong just warned me that it could alter the bounds of reality, then I should be like, you know what? Let me make sure that I have let's work out the details before I start casting the spell. Because
What if
the
this is
details
on
take a
me.
day? Yeah. What if we take a day, talk through, and we'll do it tomorrow?
Why should maybe the substitute sorcerer supreme should take a minute and reevaluate what's the best option to do this.
I feel like he already knew what it was. It's just everyone forgets that he was Spider-Man.
Right, but then even he would, and that's at the core of the argument. Is it even if the spell goes off just as it's initially intended, which is something that they say later on, we'll let the spell go through as we initially thought. Then everyone would forget that Peter Parker is Spider-Man. Then at that moment, he would have been like, afterwards, he would have been like, wait, because of the flimsy wording of that spell. As soon as he finishes the first initial spell, the spell is done, and Peter Parker is standing in the middle of the Sanctum Sanctorum talking to Doctor Strange, and he has no effing clue why.
Fair enough.
So
he's
there's
gotta
already
do
a
the thing
flaw in
like,
it from the beginning.
Hey, I'm Spider-Man. So
Yeah.
in terms of them, everyone forgetting,
That would
and we're all over
Okay.
the place, so it's fine. This linear shit ain't gonna work anyway. We're all over the place. In terms of them forgetting, I assume it's that old. There's a black hole in your memory. Like you just can't quite grasp. Like, was there someone there? I don't know. I remember you were there, and I remember you were there.
No,
Like there's just like a blank spot.
Well, no, because there's a lot of gobbledygook with the spell too, because Flash Thompson wrote a book. There's a physical manifestation of the idea that Peter Parker is Spider-Man out in the world. So the spell has to wipe
True.
that out of reality.
It's
It
got
also
to
has
wipe out the
flash
internet.
drives. It has to wipe out data from the internet. It has to wipe out all of the shows that Jay Jonah did, all the T-shirts that were made, all of the like everything that was made in the world saying Spider-Man was evil or Spider-Man was good. He's all cool, guys. Don't worry about it. All of that has to be erased. So it's not just like, hey, people forget this. It's that reality no longer has this. So it's a very kind of just like catch it all spell. Like it just it's problematic to begin with. So anyway, so the spell does. Anyways, Peter adds a bunch of different gobbledygook to the spell. It doesn't quite go off as expected, and he thinks that he's like, okay, you know what, we just won't worry about it. And then I believe that's how it goes because it seems like the spell doesn't work.
He basically says, I'll contain the spell. This was a mistake. Get the fuck out.
Yeah. And he's like, I'm surprised that talking to the guy.
That's after the spell starts breaking now.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we do see the cracks start when
Right.
the spell starts. Yeah. Okay.
And then he just smashes it back down into his hands and he's like, I got the little spell. It's fine. I'll take care of this. You should really talk to the dean of admissions or whoever she is. And like, he's like, oh,
Well,
that's a good
first
idea. It's like, oh, you didn't do that. Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
Also, I
So
felt like he
first
was
off-
really underestimating, like, you didn't do that first. Like, I mean, this is bigger than just college, man. People are threatening to kill his family and stuff. So, maybe there's some rationale behind. Okay, cool, man. Like, they've truly like pushed Doctor Strange into that Tony Stark, I don't give a fuck, I'm an asshole role. Like, well, we need a dick. Well, Doc, you're up. So
Someone who's been rewarded for constantly just going flying by the seat of his pants.
Yeah.
Whereas had this been a Bruce Banner who flew by the seat of his pants at one point and then has regretted it every minute since, he's constantly trying to think. So like when they're like, oh, we're gonna build Ultron, he's like, no, wait, Tony, how about let's think this through.
This is the opportunity. We can create Ultron's perfect self without the homicidal glitches he thinks are his winning personality. We have to.
I believe it's worth a go.
I'm in a loop. I'm caught in a time loop. This is exactly where it all went wrong.
I know what everyone's going to say, but they're already saying it.
Bruce Banner's always trying to be like, is this the best answer? And maybe taking too long with stuff. Whereas Tony Stark and clearly Doctor Strange is just like, yeah, let's see what fucking happens. And
let's be honest though. Like he got the alter ego that basically renders him unconscious the entire time he's running around as Hulk. So he's put in a box. These guys get superpowers and armor. Like it's a win-win for them when they fuck up. They fuck up upwards.
Yeah.
He fucked up and basically locked himself in a jar until he comes out of a Hulk form. Yeah. That's why you're always cautious of like, all right, maybe I don't want to go back to that path.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's the mentality that we have with Doctor Strange. So Peter suits up and goes to head off to catch up with, I'm just gonna say the Dean of Admissions.
Up in a regular suit.
Yes, the Dean of Admissions.
No, both.
Well, he has one underneath.
He's got that Stark style
underneath
yeah.
his super suit. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay,
so he goes off to the Dean of Admissions. He's having a conversation with her. She is not impressed to begin. Trying to. She's stuck in traffic. Well, and he just
I was gonna say you gotta
up to the car.
Add the big caveat. Yeah.
She's stuck in traffic and he runs up to her car and knocks on her window. Creepy as fuck. Just gonna say that happens. Nobody opens it at that point, but he's famous, so she did. At that point, shit starts to go sideways because suddenly we're dealing with a villain from 2004 who's magically appeared and has come to fuck shit up. One, Otto
Alfred
Octavius,
Molina from Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yes, finally returning.
Sorry,
Otto
no idea
Octavius,
what he's doing.
Dr. Octopus, Doc Ock, the man with all the arms and none of the answers, is right there, ready to go, and wants to know what the fuck just happened. Where is his machine? Which was, as he said, the sun in the palm of your hand, which, we'll come back to that. They fight super cool, like really great action. I really enjoyed the fight scene between him. Doc Ock thinks that this is his Spider-Man. What's up?
He gets a little nanotech.
Yep, he gets
just before he realizes.
Yeah. He rips off part of Spider-Man's suit. It's the Iron Man suit, so the nanotech actually invades his suit, invades Doc Ock's arms. He's got Spider-Man. He's gonna kill him. He rips off the mask and sees, wait, you're not Peter Parker. Like, no, I'm Peter Parker. Who are you? At that point, Spider-Man gets control of Doc Ock's arms because of the nanotech. So now Doc Ock,
he's somewhat of a scientist himself.
Yeah, well, we'll get there too.
Just a little bit. My question is, where did Doc Ock come from?
It looks like he appeared right before the penultimate battle with Spider-Man.
No. I mean, like, where does he physically come from? Like, you can hear him walking as Parker's trying to talk to the admissions person, admissions lady. So presumably he'd been walking around somewhere prior to this.
I thought he came from underneath.
Yeah,
like he was climbing, he was grabbing onto bars like from underneath.
That's what I got.
I'm agreeing with you. I'm saying, but where did he come from? Like, how did he get to the freeway?
Probably appeared under the freeway. It seems like the rift happened at that point. Like that was when.
But that happens after Parker leaves Strange, which I would assume he showed up right when the rift happened, which is when he's at Strange's place before he puts the suit. So he would have at least had half an hour to maybe an hour or so.
So maybe he's
just leaving Strange.
Okay, yeah. So he's just kind of wherever he is. He's like he orientates himself, and then he sees on TV that Spider-Man is on the bridge talking because there's a news crew there, and they're like, I mean, I might be doing this out of order because I do know a news crew shows up.
No, you're right. A news crew is there first because he swings in and he's like, hey assholes, and then
goes to talk to the
Starks
Dean of
himself into
Admissions.
a regular suit. Yeah.
Does he, or does it show up
Yeah.
when Doc Ock is there?
I don't know. That's what I was trying
No,
to
it was there
remember, but
before.
Pat
It was before Doc Ock.
there you go.
But
Yeah.
why would it be there?
Because he's
it's
Spider-Man.
He's the hottest
Why are
name
Pop-
in the
Parker.
world.
Gotcha. Okay,
Yeah.
fair enough.
Probably because Pepper's paying to be followed.
Yeah.
Okay. Of course, trying to ruin his life.
She exactly. She's like, my kid's the only one who should inherit Stark Tech. I'm gonna ruin this young boy's life so that my child gets a benefit of it.
I feel like
but
she
she
could
was
have
Stark.
showed up as in her own suit and gone after him.
I mean, she
But
could
I
have,
wonder-
but she didn't. She's too
I
lazy.
only asked that because I wonder what Doc Ock did with, because he doesn't seem very shy about his arm. So I felt like you would have heard him coming from miles away as people scream as Doc Ock walks around with his like leg saying, "Where's Parker at? Where's my shit?"
We don't,
I mean, yeah.
you just got to kind of like, yeah.
Okay,
He appeared
fair enough.
under the
We'll move on.
bridge, tried
Yeah.
to get discombobulated. There was a TV store. Okay. So
Okay.
he sees Spider-Man. They have the fight.
I just
Shit's going
feel
down.
like he's going to like throw cars through cafe windows. He's in this one. How about that one?
yeah.
And
still
he
nobody
was, but then
cares.
as he went down the street, he
Ah.
saw the television store.
Okay.
He saw Radio
gotcha.
Shack, and in the TVs in the Radio Shack,
The
it's like,
one Radio Shack left.
yeah, exactly. It's a one Radio Shack in Queens, and he's like, "Son of a bitch, Spider-Man!" And so
like
he
it.
he hotfoots off over to the bridge to catch him, and he's like, "You stole the power of the sun in my hands. Give it to me now."
And Spider-Man's
And he's
like,
like,
what the fuck you talking
Are
about,
you
man?
are you drunk?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
You got arms. You're weird.
Yeah, and so so Peter gets control of his arm. He's like, "Hey, until we're done with this, I control the arms. Okay? Hey, I'm the octopus now."
Look at me, sure. Look at me, sure. I'm the captain now.
Because you got arms, you're octopus.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah.
I forget how he gets. I think Doc Ock just gets magicked over into the basement of the Sanctum Sanctorum.
I will.
I believe he gets poofed.
Yeah, because that's Doctor Strange brings but because like I feel like there was the trailer kept making us think that there was a goblin grenade there at that time, but I don't fully remember how it transitioned.
No, there
But
was.
I do know that
There was a goblin.
There was.
Right. That's right. Because then
okay.
he appears, the Green Goblin appears, and then they all like he attacks,
But then
flies off.
Yeah, Doc Ock gets magicked back to the Sanctum, and so does Peter, because at that point, Strange is like, "Hey, some stuff happened when we did that spell. You already see the lizard is over there in the corner, and you see that Doc Ock is also put into a magical cage, and he's safely behind fields of force. And he's like, "Hey, some shit happened. We need to take care of this. I need your help." And he's like, "Well, okay, well, if I need help, then I need help from other people too. I have my own team. Scooby-Doo this crap. XYZ."
Yes, he does.
Comic
he does tell
banter.
them a lot of good banter, a lot of, "Hey, no, please, Scooby-Doo this shit." Thought that was good. Not honestly, not sure
like
why
that.
he's got Spider-Man being the one to do that when he could have called other heroes, or maybe Damage Control or
Wong,
Shield
or any
Well,
other-
I know why he
I
didn't
think-
call Wong. I get why he didn't call.
Yeah,
Wong.
that's fair. That's fair.
Should've
But
just
there
called
are other.
Pepper.
There's also there's also the two wizards that are busy cleaning up the Sanctum.
Yeah.
Like one of them could have done something, maybe.
No,
Like, hey,
Also-
I got.
I think he pulled an Adam Warlock. I think he understood that in order for in order for these guys to show up, Parker
Died for
was
our
the impetus.
sins?
Like you could send people. Well, that too.
No, that's fair. Yeah.
But
Okay. Yeah.
He thought about Parker has to go out there, show himself, and as soon as he does, then we can just start netting all these guys.
Yeah,
So.
he's the flame. They're the moth. Makes sense.
Exactly.
All right. Fair enough. There's a lot of interesting banter with Doc Ock, and the Scooby Gang, as it were. They finally get a hit on another villain, so we're off to the woods with a lot of electrical lines for, you guessed it,
And a busted
Jamie
suit.
Foxx's Electro. What's up?
You can't forget his busted suit.
Yes, he's busted ass
Yeah, it's Bus's suit, because there was that's an
Paint, I think,
odd.
or something on it.
Yeah, it's a weird thing. Like, because there's paint from people who are like, "No, murder's wrong," and they throw blood on him. Like they throw paint on him. It's a very odd. But then he also has the
That's the part.
phone
Yeah, the phone.
attached, which I'm kind of like, okay, I guess, because part of the nanotech of the good suit is compromised. But it's like there's no way with any of his other suits to have like a camera, because like he had a drone at one point. You would have thought that like, oh, there's a tier, but that he doesn't have to duct tape a phone to his chest.
My question is, what is the benefit
GoPro.
of having their eyes
Yeah.
from his point of view?
What's up?
So I'm trying to think, what is the benefit of having their eyes from his point of view?
So that they're able to give him like see something that he doesn't, like just a few more eyes help to like, oh, they see like, oh, there's a power line over there that he didn't recognize. Why don't you go over there, pull that down and use that? Because
I'm like his own peripheral would be much wider than what they're seeing anyway.
Remember,
Right,
they
but
think
Ned
they're going
and-
after the Goblin too. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, but also, I mean, in this universe, Ned and Mary Jane are both very intelligent. They're both at a charter school, I guess.
You go to
essentially.
MIT or something.
Well, something.
You should be going to MIT or something.
Yeah, because it's not just like this. You know, it's not just PS42. It is specifically a charter type school where it's a higher
Magnet
education
school. Yeah,
magnet school. Thank you. And so that just another 2 heads are better than 1, 3 heads are better than 2, that type of thing of like maybe they'll come up with something and be like, hey, try this. That's the whole like.
Well, and I'm not disagreeing. I just
head,
felt
two
like,
others grow.
as much as I enjoyed the low budget phone tech, I just felt like he could have had an earbud that would have fed him the talking points that they already had. And the phone itself, though, is what I'm saying, is like the camera isn't going to capture nearly as much as he is with his own spidey sense and his peripheral vision. Like they're only going to see what he's facing, what he's already looking at. Like he would need cameras behind him, or like you said, in a drone that's facing an angle he can't see.
It's a security blanket. Why don't we leave it at that?
Okay.
Like it helps him if he knows they're there.
Gotcha.
And it helps to visually bring them into the scene.
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess a little bit.
Cool.
It's yeah.
All right. It's a funny
Just
moment.
a bit of storytelling through. Yeah. It's a fun visual too because he's got that on him. That's
I
really what
enjoyed
it comes
it,
down to. Yeah.
He's also a high school student, so not every of all characters, he doesn't always have to be logical. Sometimes like that doesn't make any sense. Yeah, a lot of hormones, man. I don't know what to tell you.
No, but I think this goes to a lot of people's I guess frustration with this character is that he was never portrayed as the scientist that he is, I suppose, or at least the level of intelligence that he normally carries. He was always aided by Stark Tech, and he's aside from maybe doing his own shooters, like he's never really, I don't know.
I mean, people's complaints. Go ahead.
Oh, you go ahead.
People's complaints in the universe is just that he's Iron Man light, and it's like because like everything he gets from the suit. It's like, I mean, it's a conceit made by the story just to give him some training wheels, just to give him a leg up to catch up with all the other heroes.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also not a valid argument in my opinion. Like it just feels like, oh well, it's just like this. It's like, yeah, but I mean, that's for the story within this world. It's if you go to another alternate universe, then it's not the case. Obviously, we have that over in the Ultimate Universe, where it's like he made the web shooters from a chemical compound that his dad actually made. So it's like there's other ways to kind of build a backstory to that they kind of just shorthanded with the Tony part. And I'm okay with it because we have so many different alternate universes here that it's like anything can happen. There's the type of people I feel people get like caught up in like, oh, I just hate that he's Tony Stark Jr. It's like it's a smaller world that we have to work with within MCU. So it's like let it go. And
yeah,
it's better than Venom. Stop it.
Is it though?
Is it better than Venom? It's the only line you got to pass.
Is it?
Yep.
So this is where they introduce Electro and Sandman, which is a lot of fun because now you've got a villain from each of the previous Spider-Man franchises interacting. Sandman just trying to get home to see his daughter, man. He's trying to get home to see his daughter. It's always get home.
That same old tired story.
We do this
Yeah,
every
there's
time.
almost nothing else.
That's just let me home daughter. That's all I'm at, man. Home daughter. Let's just do that.
Well, the big conceit in this is that we get Jamie Foxx Electro finally, like the cool,
an actual Electro. And he
not popsicle
as he
Electro.
says, the energy here feels different. I like it. He's trying to kind of charge himself up.
Yeah.
He and Sandman are eventually captured and put the little containment fields, so they can't do anything.
How are they captured again?
So because Doctor Strange puts a spell on Spider-Man's web shooters that turn them into magical teleportation web shooters. So it's like, I got you with that web, and I hit that tree. Oh no, the tree got shot into one of the containers. And so it's through
Gotcha.
through the web shooters.
Web shooters. Yeah, I forgot. Okay.
Magical web
So
shooters.
he
Yes.
captures both of them. At
And a
that
tree.
point, and a tree. Not a magical tree.
That is
Just
that
a
his
tree.
best friend thinks is a magical tree.
It is a great line. Jamie Foxx like,
That was
hey
pretty
man,
funny.
it's just a tree.
Hey, ask him if this is like a tree monster or like a scientist that turned into a tree.
It's just a tree, man. Just a tree.
It's true.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that I kind of enjoy too, because we are dealing with so many different, like three, but we are dealing with different iterations of Spider-Man. I like that they do show connections between them. Like they'll see like Jamie Foxx is like, oh no, like I Dr. Kurt Connors did this, like he did this, and he's like, Connors, I know Connors in my world, because we did have a Dr. Kurt Connors in the original Sam Raimi Spider-Man. Also now, which by the way, for future purposes, they're referring to those as the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, and that the Spider-Man, the Andrew Garfield ones are the Amazing Spider-Man. But they went back and added the name Friendly Neighborhood within the script. That way they could differentiate between the three.
Yeah.
But also in some marketing things, they for like toys that are coming out that are pointed towards the Raimi stuff, they're calling them Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. But that's just a little bit of for clarity between the three.
That's a good way to do it, because I think he actually calls himself on your I think he says I'm your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man at some point in part 1 or 2.
Probably, yeah.
Just pissed Ken off when he said it too. Just got more and more upset.
Yep.
Who are you?
You know who I am.
I do.
Your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
So this is where the villains also start talking to each other. So everybody, like some of them start to figure out like, no man, you died. No man, you died. Like they're all having that conversation. At that point, Aunt May contacts Peter to let her know that or let him know that Green Goblin has shown up. The guy you're looking for has shown up at the homeless shelter. And Peter gets there, and he is he is back in Norman Osborn mindset. Like he's a broken man at the moment. He doesn't know where he is. His home is gone.
And we have a good scene of him yelling at the mask too.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Yes, he does. Yeah. There is a scene where we go back to him fighting with the Green Goblin mask. He actually destroys the mask as well. Like he smashes it and runs. He's back into like he's got control again, and he just basically, I need help. So May basically gives Peter the hey, we're gonna have this talk. This is important. You need to help them. I don't think this is when she says the line. I think it's later on, right? Okay. So she's like, no, you need to help them. This is what we do. It's never wrong to help somebody, Okay, yeah, whatever. The wizard's not going to agree, but that's cool. Brings back Green Goblin. Green Goblin is put in a cell because Doctor Strange wants no guff. The villains are now talking at this point, and they're putting together like, oh, we basically all got captured. We're basically all here right before Spider-Man killed us, with the exception of Sandman, because Sandman did not die.
Neither did Lizard.
Oh, he didn't? I thought he did.
No, he was imprisoned at the end of
he gets transformed
ASM1.
back, doesn't he?
Yeah.
So all before they get the big ass kicking from Spider-Man. That is when you get captured.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
There you go.
So
well, I mean, yeah, and yeah, then that's where it starts to to me the wheels start to come off a little bit, because they say like, oh, it's all people who knew Peter Parker was Spider-Man is how they got pulled over, because the spell was a little bit wonky, and as opposed to doing one thing, it did the other, which doesn't make any sense, because like certain people didn't know he was Spider-Man, still got pulled over to this universe. And like Venom,
this is
like in his universe, there's no Peter Parker, there's no Spider-Man. So
hold on. I'm gonna put my tinfoil hat on. You guys are ready to ride with me on this one?
Well, there's already an explanation.
Okay. I know, but I want Kareem's tinfoil hat.
You just ruined it. You ruined it.
Yeah.
No, my hat is off.
No, bring back the thunder.
Go fuck yourself.
No. I don't know why I love that so much every time.
It's funny every time.
I feel like it might have been the same one I'm thinking of.
There's a little bit of gobbledygook in at the end of Venom 2, when before he gets teleported over, it's like, oh, the Venom symbiote communicates with the whole the hive mind and the whole multiverse. So in some effed up multiverse, Venom knew who it was, so it brought them over. But also, Mary Jane knew who Peter Parker was, and so did Gwen Stacy before she died. And so did Captain Stacy, and a bunch of other people knew.
But if that had happened, Andrew Garfield would have broken. No, you can't bring.
No, you do, and then just like the other ones, you save them. Like you give her a shot that gives her an adamantium spine, so she doesn't get.
And
killed
this is how you get
returned.
Wolverine / Gwenpool. Perfect.
Or yeah, exactly, Spider Gwen or whatever you want to do. Like you do something like that. Anyways, but that's where I digress. It's kind of a cockamamie idea of like, oh, it's bringing over people who know Peter Parker was Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Did it though, or did it just kind of pull people you wanted to for your story purposes, which is fine. Which is write a better line.
Yeah, it is.
What if it did bring them over, but none of them made it to Peter in time though? At least the Peter that they think they know, because they're all looking for their Peter.
Yeah,
so there's a
Peter.
Gwen Stacy running around New York.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he does.
No, he doesn't.
He doesn't.
I mean, he will now because of some stupid when Morbius and the Vulture and Venom all get together. They're gonna be like, hey, we got this Black Cat and Silver Sable movie. Let's go ahead and start that up too, because we're full of dumb it, Sony.
Well,
Aviara needs to be let go.
I have some
thinking
questions.
hive mind, then
So-
go ahead.
Well, no, I have some questions once we get through the movie, because I don't understand what they're really gonna do.
Keep going.
And I still think we haven't seen the last Spider-Man in the MCU. Either way, neither here nor there. All right.
Okay.
Villains are having conversation. Doctor Strange's like, fuck this shit. Let's send him back. He's got his magic wizard box. He hits the button. They all go back. It's an easy button. It's weird. He's getting ready to send them all back. And basically,
but because I'm sorry. Oh, because Aunt May had the anti-Pa Kent talk and said, no, you don't just let people die. That's not what superheroes do. That's what Pa Kent should have said. Anyways, going back, Doctor Strange was saying, like, let's hit this button.
Yeah, hit this
You
button.
mean Doctor Strange just had the regular talk that everyone has?
Fuck them.
Sometimes you just can't change shit, bitch.
Yeah. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah,
You're dead.
That was the Pa Kent speech.
And that's literally what happens. Like, basically, Peter says, wait, these guys all die fighting not me, but me. Why can't we do something? It's like, nah, you can't. Sometimes that's their fate. It's how it works. They are not happy about this, obviously. So Peter, in his infinite wisdom, steals the magic wizard box and makes a run for it.
In a super cool Inception action sequence. I thought that was pretty dope. How you
even
outsmart
before we
Strange.
get to Inception, Strange does the soul punch out of the body, but somehow Spider-Man can still control his body.
Spider sense.
Yep.
It's got to be it, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
The
I think
spider
that's what
sense
their explanation
activates.
was.
So every time Strange tries to grab the box from the soulless body of Peter, it still moves. Spider sense still activated. He can't get his hands on the box. Peter gets back to his body, makes a run for it, and then Doctor Strange says, well, fuck this noise. We're going to the mirror dimension. Wow. Takes in the mirror dimension, get Polygon Inception, looking super cool. They're running through trains, they're diving through stuff. Our boy Peter figures out
math.
Yeah,
math
exactly.
wins.
Peter figures out, holy shit, it's all just fucking math. These are all just shapes and different angles. Like, yeah, I can figure this shit out. So I believe the line is, hey, Doctor Strange, you know what's cooler than magic? Math. Should have ended it with motherfucker.
Yeah.
That would have been the F-bomb they should have used, because that was the moment, would have been great.
They should have just flashed to Samuel Jackson real quick in his was it Secret Wars thing? Motherfucker. And then going back.
Exactly. Webs up Strange, takes his sling ring and the box, and leaves him in the mirror dimension.
That's kind of fucked
leaves
up.
him there. Doesn't know how to get him back. Just like, well, you live there now. That's it. Which kind of
I was going to say that.
I feel like Loki did a fist pump, like a silent fist pump when that happened. Like, fuck that guy.
That's how it feels!
I'm just a huge fan of the sport.
That's what you get. That's what you get. So Peter grabs our gaggles of villains and takes them over to Happy Hogan's house, because that's where the Magic Stark machine is.
He tells him, like, hey, either like your options are either you work with me to help you hear you all, or you just go back and die as you currently are.
Yeah.
So
because I can do it at the same time.
I
hit the button. Hit the button. Go hit the button. No. All right.
We also just should note that Electro's not really on to this plan. He just he does
like,
kind of mutter to himself a lot of times.
Yeah.
Like, we'll keep going.
Like, I don't know about this, but I'll go along with it. Meanwhile, Sandman, I just want to get home to my daughter. All right.
I just want to go home.
Hey, somebody, I don't care anymore. Get me home to my daughter. Okay, great.
And Lizard is just looking for shadows to hide out in.
Yeah. I mean, let's also note too, with the Electro part, Electro didn't know Peter Parker was Spider-Man. He just didn't. So
I thought he knew at the end.
No, he didn't.
Okay. He fought Spider-Man. And if you ever punch Spider-Man and you were a main villain, you get sucked back. That's how science works. And magic.
I thought his mask came off when he was fighting Electro.
No, because remember in the end he also says, "Oh, I thought Spider-Man was white or was black."
Yeah.
So he didn't
literally
know who Peter. He didn't know who they were. So the logic of their own fucking movie didn't make sense just because the whole thing of like,
the MCU can only cover up so much from the Sony-ness of it. Like they can only we are stretching at the seams here. Sony keeps throwing bullshit in. We're doing what we can. That's my headcanon with anything bad with the movie was Sony going, let me give you a
here.
Note.
I subscribe to your newsletter. Go on.
Yes.
Yeah.
They get back happy all the place. Meanwhile, J. Jonah Jameis Sophisto has had someone following Peter and keeping an eye on him. So when he comes back with all these guys, they basically said that J. Jonah Jameson comes down with a news crew because they know the shit's about to go down. Peter's in there. He's using the Stark tech that's basically a magic 3D printer, like the advanced hard light holograms he uses to do design and stuff, and allows him all the Stark stuff. Now we start to really see Peter come into his own here as scientist Peter. Like he's like doing things like, oh yeah, you're a genius. Like everybody will forget that from time to time, but yeah, no, you're actually it kind of really hammering that home. He's really working with I apologize. I missed one part. I want to rewind real quick. There is a point where Peter is saying how like we can work together to fix this. And Green Goblin says, well, I can help. You know, I'm something of a scientist myself.
I can help you. You know, I'm something of a scientist myself.
And that is the best part of the movie. Could have ended it right there.
Credits.
There's a few other moments that I think are pretty good. Still
there are others, but that one I was like, they
yeah.
did the thing. They did the thing. Yeah, they did it.
I mean, it's just short of like, I'm sorry, Peter, we can find No Way Home. He won the movie.
I'm all for the ham. Thought it was great. All right, so they're back there. They're working on the stuff. They're gonna work on Doc Ock first. Basically, he figures out, the power overload blew out the chip. Puts a new chip on. Doc Ock now suddenly has control of himself, and he's back to being good. Alfred Molina.
A couple things. That is one of the things they do get that done, but then, that's right. I'm sorry. You're right. He's first. They also then they get the one set for Electro. And
he's working on it.
Yeah, it's starting to drain him. It's like, okay, when this reaches its time, you'll be fully drained. Then they go on to the next one. They start doing Doctor. I believe that the next they do
Green Goblin.
They're doing Goblin next because they're working.
Because Lizard's still hanging out in the shadows of the goddamn truck.
And so it begins.
Doing nothing.
Yeah. So May, it should be said, May is there. Doing her shit, hanging out. Lizard has
Sam is in. He's in the room somewhere. He's just talking.
Yeah. No, he's just hanging out on a couch. Like, man, I'm made of sand. Shit sucks.
Yeah.
I've aged, so they don't want to put me. They don't want to put me in the human form because they want to acknowledge.
This movie came out in 2005. It's 2022. That's a long time, and I didn't take care of myself, so we're just gonna stay sand.
Did you see me and Paul Giamatti drink a lot? Oh man,
that's the Rhino. Don't forget that.
Oh yeah. God damn it!
They mentioned him
the sideways. I'm now calling Spider-Man
Rhino now.
I'm not calling all the Spider-Man movies the Sideways universe. Thank you.
Jesus Christ, man! What the hell is wrong with you? Please, just shut up.
I like it.
Oh, and Sandra Oh's in it, so Invincible gets pulled in as well.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
Fucking bastard Stephanie, stop! Shit. You're getting married on Saturday. What was all that shit you said to me?
Stephanie, stop!
There you go.
I'll make the rules. Though I am
actually just made the rules. Rule. You literally made the rules. Yeah.
At that point, Peter's spider sense starts going haywire. So he knows somebody's up to some bullshit, and he figures out it's the Green Goblin.
Too late.
Yeah, too late, because the Green Goblin basically says, yeah, you think I was gonna let this happen? No, I'm in charge. I'm the guy. I'm the one who knocks. Peter, you're a bunch of fucking half measures. You're God. What the fuck are you doing here? Why are you? You're
Who do
all
you think
gods.
you
What
are?
you doing?
I am.
Are you kidding me? That's right. Who do you think you are? I am.
Yeah. Exactly what he does. Convinces Electro to say, fuck it, I'm not doing this shit anymore. I think he had a goblin bomb. I forget how he actually got away from the webbing. I think he had a goblin bomb. Oh no, he called in his glider.
He called in the glider.
I believe,
the glider
I
comes
don't
flying.
remember.
No, did he?
No,
No,
I thought
the
he had
glider
a
comes in
bomb.
later
Like-
to get Aunt May.
Yeah,
I thought he had a bomb like over there planted, and he's like, haha.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
basically.
right. He had the bomb. So shit goes sideways. Villains are escaping. Green Goblin is beating the shit out of Spider-Man. They're now having a big fight.
Like slamming him through the walls and
Yeah,
floors and
just
shit. Like I've never seen him
whooping
fight
that
this
ass.
vicious before.
I will say this too. At that point, so Electro grabs the arc reactor to fully juice himself. He's like, all right, let's get some power from this universe so that I get overamped. And then he also turns to Doc Ock and says, I liked you better when you were evil, and hits him with a ton of voltage that could very well burn out his chip again, ?
Yes.
I think they go off the side of the building.
Yeah,
Sandman
they-
goes off into the wind.
Like, I'm out of here. My daughter's not here.
Yeah. Lizard got the text message from Electro. He bolts the fuck out of the van.
Rips it out.
Give Spider-Man a little ass whooping on the way out. Like, I told you this wasn't going to work, asshole.
I told you there'd be consequences.
Yeah.
Just like a mini ass whooping before the big ass whooping comes. Electro.
And then Goblin starts to destroy
just
Peter,
beating the
Like-
shit out of him.
Like it's very personal
evidently,
between them.
I just feel like he hated the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man 2, and this is as close as he's gonna get. So he's like, I'm just gonna beat this ass. That's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
I'm gonna whoop
No more gadgetry.
this guy's asshole.
I learned from my glider last time. I should use my hands.
Just punch you and punch. So fight goes on. It's super huge, cool battle. They end up on the bottom floor because Goblin literally just keeps punching him like it's Superman and
Through the
Zod,
ground.
punching him through the ground over and over and over. He's
Suplex
almost
him.
out of it. Aunt May goes to defend him. Goblin calls.
No,
him the
she goes
glider.
to inject him with the thing.
Oh, that's right. She goes to inject him with the serum.
Because they have that's how he gets out of it too. He gets one injection, doesn't he? And then she has to put the second one in.
Yeah.
Yeah, like because at one point when everything's going to go to heck, Peter grabs a couple of the solution problem things, and says, "Get out of here!" And she
toss him
tries
bag.
to leave.
Yeah. So she
puts it in a little bindle.
Yeah, she injects it, puts it on a little sticks, walk around like a hobo. It's super fun. Injects him with the first one. He looks at her like, "Well, this bitch." Calls the glider. Nails Aunt May like that did not look good. She is down and out. He hops on the glider, says, "Hey Peter, go fuck yourself. I got this. I'm gonna make you what you should be." Throws a bomb at May. Peter's able to kind of get half in the way and deflect it. Big explosion. Goblin's gone. The police show up because J. Jonah Mephisto has said, "Let's get the police here and really fuck this shit up." At the same time that Happy shows up. Happy gets arrested, which is my question. Like, why was Happy actually arrested in this scenario?
Because his
didn't
apartment blew up, so they wanted him for questioning.
He's it's a term. It's when you basically fuck with the police, like getting in the way of something.
Is it a real thing or something they make up when they want to like enforce fake laws on black people? Like, is that
it's
Tomato,
it's that,
tomato.
but they gave it an official word, basically obstructing justice. There we go.
Yes, thank you.
He pulled up to his apartment. He didn't do anything
In front
besides
of
that. He's
the
like,
police.
I'm going home. I'm pulling into where I go home.
There's no way home.
He didn't move.
All right, so Happy is
When they had guns
arrested.
drawn and told his fat ass to move, he just sat there. So they're like, you know what? We're gonna take you to jail.
Yeah, fat.
He's
piece
like,
of
but
shit.
Pepper Potts will protect me, and then she doesn't because she's crap.
Pepper is actually the one arresting him and in disguise. Super good. We have the heart-rending moment where, and they do such a great job of just wrenching the emotion out of you, where May stands up and it's like, okay, you okay? All right, we got this. And Peter's like, we can do this. And May falls over and she's bleeding out. And she basically, this is his Uncle Ben moment, because she does the line, with great power comes,
Must
and
also
she doesn't say it.
great responsibility.
Yeah. Say that one more time.
Which
You're
I
gonna say
thought
it
was
better.
pretty.
With great power must also come great responsibility. That
Yes.
and the must is in there. I've said this before, like in different conversations, but the must is in there because it's not a matter of you automatically just get the responsibility. No, you need to take that burden on. Otherwise, it's not heroic. That's that must also come part. But sorry, go on.
No, Peter, you listen to me. You have a gift. You have power. And with great power, there must also come great responsibility.
No,
I was going to agree with that. They did a really awesome job of organically transitioning her into Uncle Ben at the beginning when she has a conversation about when homeless Defoe shows up, and she starts laying the seeds to be his Uncle Ben at that moment. Because I mean, up until this point, we didn't really have any need for him. There was never any mention of him passing away beforehand, having a prior discussion. So I thought it was really cool that they kind of got it all within like a half-hour span.
Yeah. Well, she's the anti-Pa Kent. Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
No.
100%.
She's just no. She's
and look,
just
and it kind of ended the way same for both of them, didn't it?
Yeah.
The dead is dead. So Aunt May does indeed die because Marissa Tomei is like, I'm not going to do only Sony movies. You guys kiss my ass, get me out of here. Smart move on her part, 100% smart move to make. Peter is obviously just destroyed and the anger is eating away at him. Happy is screaming at him to run because they're going to arrest him at this point. So he takes off. Meanwhile, back to Ned and MJ, who are at Ned's I believe his grandmother's house, and his
mom's house.
Oh, it's his mom's house. Okay, I don't remember.
His house. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So they're at Ned's house. They're like, well, they haven't heard from Peter in forever. They don't know what's going on. They're scared.
They also have the box, by the way.
They have the box. They do. The magic box of Doctor Strange, not the box that opens the gates to hell and Hellraiser, where suffering is pain, or pain.
I feel like it's one and the same.
The box. You opened it. We came.
Kind of similar.
Yeah.
So Ned is like, man, I wish we knew where Peter was. And he makes a circle as it like just, he's like, where is he? And a portal starts to open because he's inherently magic. This is mentioned earlier in the movie. He says, Doctor Strange, like, no, I feel like there's magic in my blood. And Doctor Strange's like, yeah, okay, dumbass.
No, because he said that his mom said that it's in his family. His family has the touch or something like that. Like it's a very fun way that they put it. Yeah.
Also, have to note that Mary Jane is about to MJ is about to push the button, which is why they have this whole conflict of him trying to find him first before they push the button.
Exactly. Yeah. And
he's being pragmatic.
Once again, if you're Doctor Strange and somebody says, oh, my family has the touch, has that in their blood, maybe you do just a little like, well, maybe I should take a look because this is a world with magic. So, maybe.
Yeah. Maybe. Agreed. It is very much that moment in Independence Day where they're like, he's like, yeah, I want to get some payback because the aliens abducted me, and they're all like, listen to this guy, aliens. Like, what are you looking at him for that? Like, they're clearly right there.
Yeah, like that's them.
Well,
that's the aliens.
At least in the alien scenario, though, there were aliens there. Like, there's no reason to even follow up on it. Even if he does have magic, what good is he to Doctor Strange right now?
It's not what good he is. It's the danger he can do.
Yeah.
Wanda Maximoff.
He's hanging out inside your basement, which is full of ancient relics. Maybe we just stop and check. Like, do you have an aptitude? Okay, don't touch anything. Like, just don't.
What's he gonna do? Go into his like trance thing while Magic Boy's running around in his basement?
Yeah.
Because he said he could just deal with the situation in front of him first, and then go back and look at Magic Boy.
He's going upstairs to take a nap while they Yeah, he went upstairs to take a nap while they stayed downstairs and did the Scooby-Doo crap. Okay, so he's clearly just like, Blah, blah, blah. Actually,
Didn't he? No, I thought he went to go find the other ones.
no. Like he
They
says,
split
go.
up.
He went to go fuck off.
Yeah.
I thought. Oh, okay.
He's like, man, I gotta jerk it real quick. You guys do what you got to do. I got shit to do. It's good.
Okay.
Like, nobody knows what he was doing. The Doctor Strange is
he went to
new
put the
Tony
box
Stark in all the
together.
wrong ways. The box
Did
was
he?
already
Or was it
together.
already-
Yeah.
Yeah. Or did he already put it
No,
together?
was
He
it?
just,
He had the spell. He didn't put, and then remember, because when he comes back, when he sees him the second time, he's like, "Look, I created this box. All
Okay.
you have to do is press the button to send him back."
Okay. All right.
I mean,
All right.
Or he stole the box from Hellraiser and just said
Yeah.
he made it himself.
Shall we begin?
We don't know.
Fair
I
enough.
don't have
Hey.
any hard facts on this.
Yeah. What? I'm no wizard scientist. Okay.
Yeah. I'm a muggle, okay? I don't know what you're referring to as far as all this.
Goddamn
Yeah.
right you are.
I'm a muggle and a flat scan. I got nothing.
Oh man, the worst of the worst.
So Ned figures out how to make the sling ring work, and Basic says, where's Peter Parker? Where's Peter Parker? Where's Peter Parker?
Show me
He
Peter
opens a
Parker.
portal, and Spider-Man walks through.
Aha!
Aha! Aha! It's not our Spider-Man in the MCU.
What do you know
It
from
is
funny, you
Andrew
bastard?
Garfield, the Amazing Spider-Man. They have a lot of witty banter. It's
It
actually
was so
really
much more
fun the way
likable
they
in this
do
version
it.
for some reason.
He was likable in the other ones too.
He is, but here's the thing. All of the Spider-Men, the other two Spider-Men, are better in this movie. And it's because it is in the hands of people that understand the comic.
I agree with you to a degree. I think that the two previous iterations of this, and this has been a conversation I've had multiple times, they both those movies do have their failings. Most of them are usually due to certain aspects of those movies. Like you have with the Amazing Spider-Man stuff, you have a great Peter Parker and love interest and crappy stories that they are in. Like the world that they built out for them isn't full enough, but the Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone of those worlds are great and they're very enjoyable and you enjoy those characters and their performances. Whereas in the Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Mans, you have an abysmal Peter Parker and Mary Jane.
See, this is where your bias comes in because you have a heart for Andrew Garfield.
Yeah,
and you just hate Toby
because he's great. So let me finish.
And I
my
like Kirsten Dunst.
But and you have the great story. The great stories for Green Goblin and for Dr. Octopus, but the Peter Parker of it all is very bland and just milk toast and just like a hunch.
Motherfucker, get out of the way!
They're stop.
So they each different story has their things. My point being is that's why after this movie, everyone's like, we need more Andrew Garfield because he did a great job portraying the character. The movie itself as a whole has its problems, but Andrew Garfield was not the weak link of his movie.
But he also wasn't the same character that he was in the Spider-Man in his own Spider-Man movies.
I disagree.
He was kind of a bully in the Amazing Spider-Man films. Like my nit to pick with him is he's a little too cool to be Peter Parker.
That's okay. People that I've heard this before. My problem with that is doesn't matter how cool you may be or how cool you are or feel, how you are treated by the outside world and those around you, that's how you are seen. Like you are seen as the nerd who's like, oh, he's standing up to Flash because, and it's like, oh, everyone loves Flash. So let's be on Flash's side because let's all love that kid for some reason. And then it's just a matter of position. It's like, oh, if you put him in that world, yeah, he's nerdy, but it's like he's still an outsider, and that's the story of Peter Parker is that he's an outsider and a nerd. And so yeah, he might skateboard, but he still does the science, he still takes the photographs, he is still Peter Parker at his core, and he's funny. When a mugger pulls a knife on him, he makes jokes. He isn't just dumb and bland like Toby.
So
he's kind of a dick. If you watch that basketball scene over again, you realize he's an asshole in that scene.
He's an asshole to an asshole. You don't. Why is anyone? If I go out there and go back in time and punch Hitler in the face,
you're an asshole to an
or so
asshole,
is someone?
If you're an asshole to an asshole, you're still an asshole. You're no longer You're no longer the sympathetic Peter Parker that people should be relating to.
Go ahead, take it.
So if you go out there and you're speaking trash on Donald Trump, who's an unrelenting asshole, now you're an asshole too, or are you just speaking truth to power? And that's,
if you do it the same way Donald Trump is, you're known better than him, is what I'm saying. You become a Donald Trump.
no, you don't. You're
literally
speaking the
do.
truth.
If you do the same thing that he's doing.
I know I'm saying if you're
there,
I'm not doing the same
you
thing.
guys aren't saying the same thing. You're not saying the same
Okay.
thing.
Oh.
Because Ken, you're saying speak truth to power, like basically calling them on their bullshit. Kareem, you are saying no, you're just Donald Trump.
If you're being an asshole to an asshole, yeah.
It's
exactly.
not that you're being an asshole in the way Ken is saying, but like just a dick. Like you're just being a dick to be a dick.
In Ken's analogy, in the basketball scene, he'd be standing up to Flash, which he does at the very beginning, and then he continues to be an asshole afterwards.
I bring it! Come on, Parker! Come on!
So at some point, he goes from standing up to being an asshole in that scene.
We're gonna chalk all this up to Sony. Just
Okay.
everything bad in your life, put it at Sony's feet. That's where it goes. Sony did.
Sounds good.
All right.
But like I said,
so
I enjoyed him in this movie. Though I thought he was probably one of the best characters in this entire full cast.
they did more to redeem and make his character likable in the 30 minutes of screen time he had here than they did in the entire 2 films of The Amazing Spider-Man. My opinion. Like they did more
and
work
to
here.
Ken's point, I also loved his on-screen relationship with Emma Stone. I thought came through for both their characters.
Oh,
I love
100%.
seeing the 2 of them much more than Kirsten Dunst and Tobey
Yeah.
Maguire.
Yeah, it always in my mind feels like, now the story they did was definitely Gwen Stacy, but it almost always felt like Kirsten Dunst was playing Gwen Stacy.
Exactly. Yeah.
And Emma Stone was playing MJ, was playing Mary Jane. It always kind of
Could've
felt
easily-
that way
yeah.
to me. But all right, neither here nor there.
Swap the 2. Yeah.
Andrew Garfield shows up, the Amazing Spider-Man. There's a lot of funny things where MJ's throwing bread at him, like, hey, do something, Spidey, prove you're Peter Parker, do something. So he just hangs on the wall, like, crawl, like,
Not enough.
okay.
I'm not crawling.
How is this not enough? It comes across like he's not, it's great. Has a great interaction with Ned's mom. They try again, and then the hero of the hour appears. The one, the only,
Ken's
the
favorite.
originator. Tobey Maguire,
neighborhood Spider-Man.
captain of the Pussy Patrol himself, Tobey Maguire appears on screen as Peter Parker. At this, when we get Andrew Garfield, he is in costume. Peter Parker is not in costume at the moment when he appears on screen. Basically, they talked Ned and MJ through. They got pulled through at the same time. Just multiverse shit. So it's like, oh, now there's more Peter Parkers here too. They've been trying to figure out where they are the last couple days, like what the hell is going on. They basically discuss how when something really bad happens to them, where do they go to figure out how to think? And like, what do you say? Andrew Garfield said the Chrysler, Amazing Spider-Man says the Chrysler Building. Friendly Neighborhood says the Empire State Building. And so MJ and Ned figure out, oh, he's on the top of the school. So they go to visit him, to check in on him, help him mourn, and they bring spider friends. They have a really great conversation about loss and the things like kind of one of the defining characteristics about Spider-Man is loss and coping with loss and using it to move on. And they all have a conversation about it. I thought it was really well done. Ken, you are the Spider-Man aficionado. Anything here? Watching those 3 interact outside of the like kind of doing the point thing and when they get to the lab, like, all that fun stuff.
No, I might, but sorry, my for
good.
those who may have said that my cat showed up and really threw me off my game.
That's all it takes, folks.
It's just like, yeah. I mean, it's definitely good moments that we get to. I'm trying to think of specifically more when they're doing it at the school. I guess there are definitely good moments where there is the pointy thing, but also the idea that they are all scientists. They're all like to the complaint that like, oh, he's too much of a Tony Stark. It's like, but he was always smart. Like he was always his own scientist. He's like, oh, well, I defeated Doug. I already did the the formula, so I'll do that one. And they're like, there's a joke there, but I'm not fully remembering it about because the way he says it or something. But then they also work on the serum for Green Goblin, and they work on the Sandman tech, and then they work for all the different cure-alls for these characters.
Yeah, they in the conversation previously, they basically come to the decision like, yeah, no, what Spider-Man does, what Peter Parker does is he helps people. So no, we can't let them die. We have to try to help, even if it doesn't work out. And it really points to a very core piece of his character. They do all end up in the school lab, working on the cures. There's a really funny scene where the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man tries to figure out what the web fluid's for. It's like, oh, I got my web fluid. Oh yeah, me too. And he's like, wait, what? And they do take head on the fact that he can shoot webs out of his body. They have the conversation confirming if the webs only come from his wrist or elsewhere.
Are you teasing me? No. He's not teasing you. It's just that we can't do that. So naturally, we're curious as to how your web situation works. That's all. Like, does it just come out of your wrists, or does it come out of anywhere else?
Does he come web? The question they are asking is what they're hinting around. Does he ejaculate web? The answer canonically is no.
Fair enough.
All right.
Thank you for answering that.
We're all thinking it.
Thanks, Sony.
Everybody's thinking it. Let's have that discussion. At that point, is this when Strange shows up?
No. So
he
they
shows up on the
go ahead
Empire
and say,
State
okay.
Building.
After they start enacting their plan.
Or not
he shows up the Statue of Liberty.
Yeah.
So they go ahead and say like, okay, so we've got all our cure-alls. Let's go ahead and draw them in. So how do we do that? Let's go ahead and call into J. Jonah Jameson and put out essentially an online say like, hey, since you all ran away, I'm gonna hit the button and let you come and stop me. Come get me. And
got it. Come on, suckers. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Well, he also puts out a sort of a plea to see the good nature of other people by saying like, hey, you might think I'm a bad guy, you might think I'm a good guy. In either way, I tried to help. That was the bottom line. Like, and that kind of sets the ground for like people sort of empathizing with him more so than when you see him at the very beginning of the movie.
I mean, they can. We don't really see any people like watching the news. I mean, I get like it. That's for the audience a bit, but the audience should already be on Peter Parker's side and should say F. Jonah Jameson.
No, he's reaching out to people who watch Jonah Jameson's show, though. The people who don't watch it, we're assuming, are fans of his.
Hey,
so he's got to reach out to the other half.
Spoiler alert: it didn't work. I'll tell you right now, it didn't work.
It doesn't matter. But even if it did or didn't work, it doesn't matter because everyone forgets him anyway.
Yeah, but so why reach across the aisle? Don't do
because
it.
It's worth it.
No, stop trying to reach across the aisle. It's not going to work. Try and take care of the.
Hey, if you want part of your life back, you kind of have to in his situation.
Well,
you guys, God damn, I didn't realize I was on a fucking political debate show. Jesus Christ.
Damn right.
They're at the Empire State Building. 3 Spider-Men hanging out, shooting the shit. You know, just I think
good
banter.
Emotional beats between them.
Yeah. They're all having conversations, kind of discussing each other's lives. You can kind of tell Amazing Spider-Man, Andrew Garfield Spider-Man, is kind of a broken person at this point. Like, we never got the third movie. What's up?
Yeah.
He says that when they're on that school's roof, he's talking about how the death that happened in his life kind of made him kind of turn not bad, but just more vicious, I guess. Vicious versus Spider-Man, and how he kind of regrets that as well. But I love when he's talking about like, he kind of hints at he's always wanted brothers. He loves being part of a group. He also wants to fight Venom. Or an alien, I guess.
They're talking about their best villains, and MCU Spidey lets it drop about Thanos, and I was in the Avengers, and they don't know what the fuck that is for obvious reasons. Well, like, you went to
because
space?
they match like, I fought a purple alien. I fought an alien too. You guys fought aliens?
Yeah, he's like, I fought a guy in a rhino suit. It's not that cool. Oh man. Yeah. Damn. Which was that was a wonderful callback. I believe we get Electro and Sandman are our first 2 villains to show up.
Yes. Well, I think they all kind of show up at the same time. Just again, they're just hiding in the shadows.
Yeah, because
just FYI, lizard guy's here too. Guys, come check.
Because he has to swim across. He has to swim across over to what's the island?
Statue of Liberty.
What is it called? Staten Island. There's an island. There's a name for the island. Liberty Island.
That makes more sense.
Oh,
we'll
God.
go with that.
People hit us up in the comments. Go ahead. Just at.
Yeah, you know what? I'm not even look it up. Screw it. We'll do it live.
We'll do it live.
Staten Island it is.
You sure we don't want to try and do
We'll
it?
do it
now,
live.
Pat?
Fuck it.
Nope, do it live.
Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live.
Jerk. Fine.
Fucking
No,
thing
it's okay.
sucks.
I was just
No,
going for the clips.
No, you did it
so
to
that Kareem
yourself.
can drop it in.
Oh, I'm gonna.
You know what? I didn't
Give us
even
some
type it.
Bill
Right.
O'Reilly
Moving on.
minutes.
Big fight happens.
Even type it, right.
It should be noted that
What'd you type in?
I just mistyped. It says statute of semicolon Aberti. And a bunch of jumble. I just mistyped.
That's why you don't
I was just
use.
one off.
That's why you don't use Bing, folks. Go to Google. They're gonna
You just
save your
can't
time.
type.
I mean, I think it
Yeah,
actually
that.
is in Bing because that's the one I have open. So yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's Bing's problem. And I cannot type. That's 100% true. In any event, oh God, it's taken 2 and 4 hours to describe a 2-hour movie. In any event, the big fight starts and the Spider-Men are getting their asses beat. And they basically realize we've got to work as a team here. We've got to trust our spider sense. This is, I believe, where MCU Spider-Man's like, I was an Avenger. And that's great. The fuck is that? You know what that is? I work as a team. Okay. I worked as a team. Oh yeah, were you in a band? That was a good line. That was strong.
Yeah.
They basically says look, I'll lead because I've done it before, but just trust your spider sense. We will be fine. They start getting their act together. Still, they're Spider-Man, so they're still getting beat the fuck up. I believe I just saw this yesterday, which shows how mush my brain is. I believe Sandman ends up capturing friendly neighborhood Tobey Maguire and is basically drowning him in sand. That's not looking good. I believe Electro is just electrocuting the shit out of Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man. And at that point, I think that's when Doc Ock makes his appearance.
I think you're right.
Yeah, and the lizard's in there too somewhere. They end up.
The lizard doesn't do anything.
Oh, the lizard. So
I would say because what it is they save. I would say don't they hit Sandman with his thing and he's locked up inside the head of the Statue of Liberty.
Yeah. But then
and that's when then the lizard and they all start facing off against their own villains or some of
yeah. So Ned and MJ opened a portal. They were there, and then they opened a portal to go hide with the box, or not with the box, just to go hide. No, it was with the box because Strange hadn't showed up yet. They opened a portal to hide with the box, but they don't know how to close the portal. So Lizard sees them, chases after them, and then they end up back on the Statue of Liberty. So the Lizard's chasing them around at that point. Doc Ock helps turn the tide. They're able to cure Sandman. So he's just locked up in the head of the Statue of Liberty. They're able to stop. He's able to basically stop Electro and power him down. And also basically takes the arc reactor from him, where he gets the power of the sun in your hand. It's like he's seeing his life work made by some other asshole. At that
there
point,
is a good line there too. Oh,
go ahead.
I would say, but because it's interspersed with triumphant moments, and then it's some other. Then this dude shows up, and there's a triumphant moment, and there's a good moment where, Doc Ock sees friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. He's like, Peter, and he's like, oh, it's so good to see you again. And how are you doing? He's like, oh, I'm trying my best, and it's a callback to his movie that they had a good kind of back and forth, and it is a good moment. As much as I may despise some actors, there's definitely a good moment there.
Yeah, they do a great job throughout calling back.
Yeah,
go ahead. Sorry.
He realizes that's a Peter that he saw before he died, I guess, or I understands that that I'm not here to hurt or kill him. We kind of made amends at the end of end of his movie.
The chip didn't fry. He's got control again. When
Yeah.
Electro is on the ground, Amazing Spider-Man swings down to him, and that's where they have the conversation where, he thought, like, Electro thought Spider-Man was black, and it said, well, it's a multiverse. There's a black Spider-Man somewhere out there. And because that's all right. There's your Miles Morales drop.
No, that's just Sony wagging the finger like, you wish we would do that. How about
But
some more
we're
Venom?
not.
He'll be
Here's
your
another Peter
black
Parker.
Spider-Man.
Here's another Peter Parker.
He's as
Here's
black as
another
they
Peter
come.
Parker.
God.
Another one.
Another one.
Another one.
Another one.
At some point in there, the lizard gets healed. Nobody cares. It's a lizard. Nobody cares. It's fine. He's back to normal.
Yeah, he's actually
It's-
sad about it.
He was so useless
Yeah.
in this movie.
Just
They
like-
had
And
to
then we
get
get
to
our
6.
ultimate villain.
And then Gobby himself shows up and is still like, Peter, I'm gonna MCU Peter.
Actually, I think Doctor Strange shows up first, and
Oh,
he's like,
yes.
"Give me that back," and he's like, "All right, cool." He gets it, but then somewhere in that ruckus, Goblin comes in and plants a bomb inside of it and blows it up.
Blows it up. Yes, that's right. So Green Goblin shows up. Doctor Strange is showing up. Goblin gets the bomb in the box, explodes. At that point, the spell is out of control. It's been released, much like Pinhead and Hellraiser. The box has been opened. And so
We'll tear your soul apart.
you can literally see tears in the fabric of the reality being formed, which looks suspiciously like something we saw in Loki. Just a little bit, smidge.
Very much
A
so.
little
Yeah.
bit callback. Thanks, Loki. You did it. It's your fault. You're the bad guy. Or
He's the
really.
good guy.
Yeah, that's fair. All right. No, you're right. Loki's a good guy. It's what's his face? Kang the Conqueror. So
Yep.
the fabric of reality is kind of tearing to pieces because everybody that knows everybody who knows Peter Parker as Spider-Man is coming through now. So
Which
that's tough.
is weird because I wasn't coming through. The two of you, I didn't think I saw either of you at that tear.
We don't know that, but we're in a different reality.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
I
like
don't,
we said,
I don't
one.
know that Peter Parker is Spider-Man because of magic. So
No, but we do, and that's the thing.
We
is
do.
just the idea that
We're
the fact that
we're in
we
the
all
shit.
know.
We're in the shit reality.
oh shit.
Yeah. So all these different the
Doctor
logical
Strange.
conceit of it all.
Doctor
Yeah.
Strange is
It's
a
like they're-
shit sorcerer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This is a whole lot of gobbledygook just to get to our
All right.
endpoint. But moving on.
So MCU Peter is beating the ever-loving shit out of Green
Whoa.
Goblin.
It was
And
that easy. It was
basically-
a pretty fair fight for a while.
It was they were fighting each other, but MCU Spidey gets the upper hand. It looks like he's gonna kill him, and we're doing the whole Star Wars Emperor. Yes, strike me down, and you become more. Yes, good, like full on Willem Dafoe going all in, doing his best. Right when it looks like he's about to strike him down, friendly neighborhood Maguire jumps down to grab the glider, which he had picked up to stab him with, and kind of give him the look like you don't want to do this. You don't want to do this. And like kind of talks him down and then gets run through Green Goblin style.
Gets shanked, prison style.
Yeah, he does get shanked.
Because his spider sense didn't
shivved.
work, apparently. He's just like, oh no,
It,
I'll just take the hit.
It
Well, he's old.
Ken
With his
has never been
backpack.
more aroused in a movie than when that happened. Never felt
Actually-
better about life.
I think one of my favorite parts was when Andrew Garfield called friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Like, what, you're just gonna run around dressed as a Sunday school teacher? What's he call him?
Yeah, like a
a
Sunday school-
youth pastor.
Yeah,
A youth
Youth
pastor.
pastor.
Yeah.
that was good.
That was a good moment.
He's got a suit underneath.
So at that point, I forget who gives Goblin. They finally get Goblin cured. I forget who gives it to him.
Are you
Is it?
too?
It might have been Toby. I don't. A lot
No, he
happened
was on the
in this
ground.
30 minutes. Goblin is cured.
Yeah. Yeah.
It might actually just been Peter, or I mean, MCU Peter.
Yeah. I think it could have been because McGuire's down on the ground and I think Andrew
Yeah.
Garfield's holding him or something. Or no. And we missed
He is
one
to
of
save
the best.
MJ.
No, we missed one of the best moments is when
Oh shit, that's right.
He just
when
redeemed himself.
Goblin essentially drops her off the side of the thing, and Toby goes to grab.
MCU.
MCU Peter goes to save her.
Tom Holland goes to save her, and as he's going, gets sidelined by the glider, and that's also what takes him over onto the fallen shield for them for their final showdown. but so Amazing just like pivots and just pushes right off the thing. And because of his experience with Gwen, knows how to save her, knows that he has to catch her, not just try and pull her back up.
Yeah.
And like she's like, thank you. And he's just Niagara Falls.
Yeah.
And just like, I'm good. Like, it's such a great redemptive moment for him, for the character.
It's a wonderful scene. It's really well done. Thank you. Because we're flying through, obviously.
Yeah.
So Goblin is cured. Much to Ken's chagrin, Tobey Maguire is still alive. Tom
badly
Holland, badly injured, probably bleeding out.
Somewhat injured. He doesn't seem badly.
MCU Peter goes up to Doctor Strange, and Doctor Strange basically tells him, "We are proper fucked. I cannot contain this. It's ripping apart." So Peter, because he is Peter Parker, basically says, "Okay, but what if everybody forgets me? Would that solve the
problem? What if we make the spell simple?
Yeah.
What if we let the spell go off like it was supposed to?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's maybe I need to rewatch it, but just
but no, it's not that. So it's not that they just forget he's Spider-Man. It's forget me. Forget Peter Parker. Because you can't use a scalpel, you got to use carpet bombing. And basically Strange says that'll work, but everyone will forget you. He's like, yeah, I got it. Strange gives the okay because he can't think of anything else to do because he's a piss poor sorcerer. Peter swings down and kind of has a goodbye moment with the other Spider-Man, and then has a real goodbye moment with Ned and MJ, kind of saying, I'll find you. I will find you. And then Strange casts the spell and it sends everybody back. I believe Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire, their last lines are, Andrew Garfield's like, "Oh, you're in so much pain right now, aren't you?" He's like, yeah. And then they both go back to their universe. Fast forward a bit. We hear J. Jonah Jameson talking about Spider-Man, who is this vigilante. He's a bad dude, a bad guy. Nobody likes him. All the footage of Mysterio has disappeared, evidently. All the internet is erased. Super magical. I like to think that,
but they don't acknowledge it. They just act as if it was never there. So
once again, now we're in the Sony writing.
It's how it's supposed to work, though.
Yeah. I just like to think every time somebody says Spider-Man is on the internet, it just goes gobbly. Like, it's gobbledygook. Guess we'll never know what that is. Peter,
it's goop, get it? She wins in the end.
What we can now. God damn it, you're right.
Ooh, I got some news for you. Yeah, go run and tell your little girlfriend.
Prime Peter. Mephisto. MCU Peter goes to the coffee shop MJ works at. He's gonna tell her like who he is. He sees MJ and Ned being excited about going to MIT, and he thinks better of it. And he gets his own apartment, has to make his own suit, and now suddenly he is the Spider-Man, much more aligned with the comic books than he was with all the Stark stuff. There's no Stark stuff, there's no nothing. It's just him.
Well,
he also goes and sees he goes
to the grave.
Aunt May's grave, who's also just like, yeah, I know this woman, Aunt May Parker, but I don't know how I know her.
Yeah,
I know her through Spider-Man, but I don't know who I
think it's literally just it's Forget Me Not. It's just
I didn't see that Jennifer Lopez movie.
Was that the X-Men character? His mutant power is you can't remember him.
Wait, was that an X-Men character? Seriously?
Yeah, I'm not joking. I'm not joking.
Wow, I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
I forgot him characterly.
So, and that's that's the movie. It's really well done.
Well, I mean, you also have the moment too where, like, I think Pat's right, where everyone has a blank spot that's sitting in the back of their mind, full of Parker memories that they can't access right now. Because MJ has the necklace and has an affinity towards this guy who walks in. Like, she feels like she knows him. And I'm assuming it's just a matter of time before, if he keeps showing up, that she's gonna be, maybe have that access, memories access. Same thing with Happy. Like Happy knows.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No,
he has all the memories of he has all the memories of him and Aunt May without Spider-Man.
Yeah. There's
no with Spider-Man, but not without Peter Parker, which makes absolutely no sense.
Exactly.
Why would they have the memories of Spider-Man?
What's up? Because he said, he says, oh, how did you know her? And he's like, oh, I knew it through Spider-Man.
But I'm not really sure. It basically it's
gotcha.
Bad writing.
Fuck you, Sony! How the fuck did you fuck this up?
I think the way you drag him, because let's be honest, like Ken, you said, all of this is because we don't know what's happening with Sony and Disney. Sony wants its ability to go make its own Spider-Man movies, not in the MCU, but kind of in the MCU a little bit. And this is a good way. You can undo that pretty quick.
Is a way. It's not a good way. It's a way. It's the best. It's probably the best they could have mustered.
It is a way. It's the best they could come up with without just throwing him in another universe. Because that was the other option. Like, hey, you're not in this one anymore. You're out.
I would have been better with that, to be honest.
Oh, 100%. But
at least then they don't have to go like, oh yeah, we completely forgot that kid was here for all of it. Like it just.
But that's not part of the deal that works for Disney, because they made this Spider-Man, and now they have all the rights and licensing to all of the merchandising for this. But like, they wouldn't be able to sell Spider-Man stuff at Disneyland.
Yes, they can.
That's
they
part
own
of
all
deal.
The Spider-Man. No, they own. They still
Spider-Man
own merchandising
rights.
Spider-Man. Yeah,
they have that. It's not like
Disney?
the Fox deal.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not the Fox deal. Sony only bought movie rights.
Only has movie rights currently, because there was a time where they did have some.
Oh, they sold them back, right?
There's at one point there's a little bit of trade off because they had to let go of, I believe, the animation rights and a few other things. But the point being is that
the MCU versions of the Spider-Man, Disney wouldn't be able to sell merchandise for it because these are movie versions.
Yes, they can.
They can sell merchandise. They can sell the merchandise.
Based on the movies.
Yeah,
it is literally
that
they
was the
own
deal.
rights to make Spider-Man movies.
Yeah, Disney owns the rights to make Spider-Man merchandise
and
on
I'm saying
whatever
based on the movies.
It doesn't matter. It's just if it's Spider-Man. Doesn't matter.
Yes, they can make Spider-Man movie stuff. They can make Spider-Man cartoon stuff. They own the rights to Spider-Man, lock, stock, and barrel, except the movie rights.
That's what I'm saying. So these movie versions of him have been loaned to Disney so that they can make stuff for it.
No, they can still. Sony can go out tomorrow, make another Spider-Man movie, and Marvel still retains the right to make toys from that movie because they own the rights to the merchandise.
It's all messed up. It's a whole messed up situation.
But if Sony says you can't make a movie for it,
yeah, they can't make a movie.
That's all they can
still
say.
make all the toys.
That's all they can say.
But then they wouldn't make any toys, right?
Why?
Probably.
I don't know. I'm okay. Now I'm very puzzled. If
Sony told Marvel no Spider-Man in the MCU movie, like no movies of Spider-Man, they wouldn't be able to make Iron Spider. They wouldn't be able to have these versions of Tom Holland, any of this likeness, any of these characters to make
in the movies. No,
right?
No. Let's not mix this up. That's why I want to make sure that we're clear about this.
Okay.
If tomorrow Marvel's
prior to the movies being made, if Disney came to Sony and said we want Spider-Man, they said no. There would be no.
If they said we want him in our movies,
if Disney said we want Spider-Man in our movies, and Sony said no, they wouldn't have made the Tom Holland. They wouldn't have merchandise from these 3 movies.
They would. Okay, so this is where I'm getting lost here. If they can still make the toys, they can still make the merchandise. They can still make all the merchandise they want off of all the Sony movies they like because they own the merchandising rights. They own the Spider-Man rights. Yeah.
Yeah. The only thing Sony's got at this point, at least from the understanding this week, is the movies. But the thing, I mean,
say what?
If you throw him in another dimension, it gets a little wonky getting him back, and who knows what the fuck they do to him by then. It behooves everyone in this relationship to go ahead and keep him involved in the MCU.
How so? Like Sony could, if Disney still gets their merchandise, it doesn't matter which universe he's in, right?
It doesn't, but there is a certain amount of control of the character that they don't want. They don't want, like, they can go out and make a movie that's absolute trash, and it hurts the overall brand of Spider-Man to Disney. That's why they are in this so that they can make a better product, so that they have a better. They're helping the brand of Spider-Man, and they're helping the brand of Sony, but they're maintaining their own character as part of that deal, and
they can make a Spider-Man movie where Spider-Man's in Vegas banging cocktail waitresses 2 at a time.
Wait, seriously?
To quote The Godfather.
Right.
Like
they would make toys for that. Disney can make toys for that.
I have a feeling Disney probably wouldn't make too many toys. I mean, they might. They might go through McFarlane. They might do a contract there, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's a thing. It behooves. Like, Sony is not going to make a Spider-Man movie that has the success that this Spider-Man movie has had. They're not. They just don't have the ability to do so. They think they're building the stable of characters. It's why we're getting the Morbius movie. It's why we're going to get a Silver Sable and Black Cat movie. They think they're building towards something. They're not. And Sony, this works the same way for Sony as well. Sony can't mention anything from the Disney movies. They can't bring up Tony Stark. They can't bring up Doctor. They can't do any of that. They can't reference anything that happened that isn't directly connected to a Spider-Man character.
Mm-hmm.
So,
so that's
I think they eventually get back together and we get at least one more MCU Spider-Man movie before Disney inevitably buys the rights back.
I don't think they're going to buy the rights back.
Why not?
Why would Sony give that up?
Oh shit! Here we go again.
Because Sony makes a lot of
discussion on the air.
So many bad decisions. Yeah. Okay. We won't rehash this. I am basing that entirely on the fact that Sony will at some point need money. Their movie division will need money. And one of two things will happen. They'll have to sell them back to stay afloat for the movie division, or Sony will say, like, I'm done with this movie division crap. We're sticking with everything else. Sell it off.
Or alternate universe, Morbius does gangbusters and they're back in business, baby.
But yeah, so right. Okay. So, but yeah,
that's the one. That's the one we're living in. You know. Just to piss off
Darkest
Ken.
timeline.
Leto's redemption and Spider-Man all at the same time.
I mean, and you know, if that happens, Sony comes in. You can use Spider-Man, but Blade makes a cameo in the next Morbius movie.
Pretty much.
Oh my goodness, I'm totally lost. I would wish for that to happen. I will say too, one thing that I will note is that one of the few times that Sony was able to step away from the Avi Arad of it all with their bad decisions was that they gave the universe to a competent director team of Tim Miller, and I believe Miller and Lord are the team to do the Into the Spider-Verse movies.
Yeah. Which
I think didn't get all the little Sony fingers in there because they're like, oh, it's an animated movie. We don't need to worry about it. It's not as high up there as our live action. So we're not going to worry about it. And that kept them safe. And I worry for the next one as much as I love the team behind it. So I hope that they keep Sony's hands off it enough so that Avi Arad doesn't try and be like, oh no, I know what's right for Spider-Man. I've always known what's right for Spider-Man. No, you don't. You never have. Please leave the room.
Yeah. Oh, this project's got fully molested. So sorry, Ken.
Yeah. I can't argue with that because I don't see. I hope someone, Amy Pascal or someone was like, Avi, stay out of this one. Like, we have one golden thing.
But it makes money.
I know this. Well, step one, Chris Pratt is the new voice of Spider-Man. The Miles Morales Spider-Man.
He's the voice of every Spider-Man except for Luke Cage.
Yeah.
Good night, everybody.
Ooh, I got some news for you. Yeah, go run and tell your little girlfriend.